Hello everyone, welcome back to some Nebulous Fleet Command. Again, we're just doing the starter Reigns class frigate fleet. This time we're doing the Cliff. We're sticking with Annihilation, and we're just going to do a simple 30-minute time limit again. And let's get this party started. Alright, here we go. The Cliff. Basically what you did when the with the tutorial, the Fleet Academy tutorials there. So we're just going to put the loom there, the blue brick there, and the stout coral there. And let's deploy. Here we go. E3040, the Cliff, Solomon system. Jumping into combat. And again, just to remind everyone that this game still is in development, at least at the time I'm recording this. So, yeah. More things to come, there's more stuff that's going to be added in. So this may or may not be representative of the final product. Anyway, I am going to actually just keep the blue brick and the stout coral together. Let's form them up. And you'll go
falling into formation.
Right about there, off his starboard side. And the loom and the trick, they're already grouped together. Now my brilliant, wonderful, highly tactical strategy here is to simply keep all of the vessels just together. At the cost of an increased radar signature, so, I mean, people are going to see 4 frigates moving together, and it's probably spot them fairly easily, but I'm just going to keep them together and mask their firepower. Spread them out slightly, but overall they're going to stick together, as we'll see.
Moving.
And one thing I will I've been pondering about, is the accuracy of this game. I mean, like I mentioned in the first video, where we got just slaughtered, is that one of the game developers, anyway, was a former Navy man, and so there is some accuracy, quote-unquote, with regard to, like, the sensors, the weapons, the electronic warfare, and things like that. But, I mean, at the end of the day, we should always bear in mind that this is a science fiction video game, and like I mentioned, it's basically just a really in-depth, kind of detailed version of what's essentially like Homeworld.
We're underway.
So, but with more focus on, naval tactics in a hypothetical science fiction navy, so make of that what you will. But at the end of the day, it's a video game and it's science fiction, so I mean, my point is that we shouldn't take it too seriously. We'll just, play this, have fun. I've debated if there's much utility in thinking of this more of as like a war game, particularly if we're thinking about how we can derive lessons from what decisions are made in this game. And I definitely suppose that yes, you could. I mean, if the objective of your war game, if the overall goal of it is to examine decision making and why you did this, that, and the other, theoretically you can set the game during any time period, any place, anywhere. Right? It doesn't even need to have fancy graphics, or it doesn't need to be set in space. It could be set in, I don't know, some weird featureless void with, I don't know, sticks and, weird Cthulhu-like entities or something. Yeah. The point is, if all you're doing is just examining the decisions made, then yes, I mean, you can technically take any game that involves human decision-making and turn it into a war game, with lessons to be learned with regard to that. However, I think in this case, I'm really just playing this kind of for fun, right? It's detailed, it's got a cool tactical element to it, with a certain degree of veracity, but at the end of the day, I think, I'm not going to take it that seriously, I'm just going to play it for fun, right? If you win, you win, if you lose, you lose. So, and sometimes it just depends on skill, sometimes it depends on luck, sometimes it's a mixture of both. So I'm not getting too wrapped around the axle about it. So that's my 2 cents on that. Yes, we can take it really seriously, but you know, it's just a fun, you know, tactical science fiction game. I'll just treat it as that. And furthermore, I guess, you know, I will be excited kind of for when they come out with a campaign, an actual storyline for this, because right now all I can do is just do multiplayer and play skirmishes and all that, so there's not really a whole lot to it aside from that. I mean, yes, there's like capture, there's control, and different types of game modes, but you go out there, you try and capture some places or control certain areas, and you shoot enemy ships, and that's that. There's not some big overall operational or strategic objective to it, so it's like, well, what else are we doing?
We hear you, Command.
Another thing I mentioned that may or may not be immersion breaking, depending on how seriously you take this game, is the fact that the distances represented in this game are so close, right? You're engaging other ships at like a couple of 1,000 meters, which is nothing, right? And, you know, things like the guns or whatever have this weird arbitrary, like, maximum range, when in reality the projectile would just keep going if it didn't hit anything. So, yeah. Right? Newton's laws. Okay, an object in motion stays in motion until, you know, it's affected by something else, so. Oh, and we have our first track out there. Let's do something about it.
We're ready whenever you are. Enemy is being locked.
There we go. Lock that guy up. Track 8919. Well, in this case, I've grouped my 2 missile ships together and my 2 gunships together, as it were. And we're being jammed. He's jammed me. I've lost lock.
Launch detected. Preparing lock. We hear you, Command. We are en route, Commander. Spotted.
Okay, we're shooting down some incoming missiles. Let's take the Stout and the Blue Brick and descend it kind of below this asteroid so we can kind of mask ourselves. We don't want to be caught from another direction, so to speak.
Awaiting orders, Commander. Locking them up. Awaiting orders, Commander. Awaiting orders. Awaiting more orders, Commander.
Yes, the Loom and the Trick look like they do have line of sight on it, so let's have the Loom fire AP. And now, let's do what I probably should have done in the last match. Let's switch to HE. So one of these is going to fire AP, the other is going to fire HE, and we'll see if that makes any noticeable difference. I mean, but bear in mind, these are frigates, so whatever armor they possess probably ain't much. In reality, they wouldn't possess any, because it's not a battleship, but, you know, this is a space navy, so they might possess some amount of armor. There are actual, like, stats on these ships and how much armor they possess, but they could possess like a bajillion millimeters of armor, super impenetrable, whatever, you know, folded 1,000 times, made the traditional way, whatever. So, anyway, yep, hammering it with APHE and some missiles. Oh yeah, we are getting it.
Standing by.
In fact, it might be... She might be dead in the water. Yeah, she doesn't look like she's moving anymore. She's not firing at us, so we may have got it.
Awaiting your orders, Commander. Send your traffic.
Let's move them a little closer.
What are our orders, Commander?
What can we do for you, Commander?
You can cease firing, that's what you can do for me. And I'd appreciate it if you would address me as Admiral, not Commander. Yeah, she's venting fire into space, so I think we got her. Yeah, we're closing to 1,500 meters here. Oh yeah, she's launching the boats. Yep, they have set a new course for GTFOsville, so yeah, we got her. That's another cool thing about this game, is that, like, there isn't necessarily, like, a defined health bar. I guess there is, but, like, you know, you can knock out individual systems, but you can end up basically pouring fire into a ship that you've essentially, you know, rendered hors de combat. And so, yeah, you won't really know until, like, you see the lifeboats launching. You realize, like, oh, yeah, she's out of the game. But that did kind of happen somewhat in real life in historical naval battles, right? Ships would just pour fire into their targets, you know, without realizing, like, oh, she's done and she's actually sinking. Yes, there are cases of that happening.
We're ready when you are, Commander.
Ready when I am? Well, good. I hope you're ready enough now. I am always ready. Ha 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 ha. Semper Paratus, as they say in the Coast Guard. Which is what it means.
Course laid in.
Alright, I don't know if this thing's going to explode on us. It'll take us with it. But let's move them away. Alright, come back around the top side of this rock. I have not quite gotten around to fiddling with the fleet editor yet and building my own fleet. Oh, we have new Targes out there.
Commander, we are low on missiles.
Low on missiles? Well, use your face or something. I don't know. Pee at it or something. Do something about it. I don't care if you're low on missiles. Figure something out.
Brace for enemy fire.
Alright, so like I said, yeah, I'm still kind of learning the game, and eventually I'll start filling around with the fleet editor, make my own fleet, so I can at least name my own ships, you know. I might just copy like an identical, you know, starter frigate fleet or starter cruiser fleet or whatever, and just kind of fiddle around with that.
We'll get it done.
See how things go. But I don't know, I haven't decided yet.
Preparing missile launch. We hear you, Commander.
Missiles, shoot at that.
We are locked on to lock on warning.
We are taking fire from down below. Oh well, looky that. We got 2 targets down there.
Standing by.
4,500 meters. Well, we can't have that.
Preparing lock. We're underway.
That's kind of cool, seeing, you know, the shells coming straight up at you.
Quiet. Command's on the line.
Yeah, quiet. Command's on the line. I'm talking here, people.
Commander.
Obey my every order without question. How dare you question my authority, you insubordinate, insolent little pricks.
Ready.
I don't think your jammer's pointed at anything useful, so let's point it down that a ways.
Buzzer act.
God, the sphere widget in this game is a little bit... It's a little bit on the finicky side, I might say.
We hear you, Command.
I mean, it's not the worst mechanic, but it's a little bit... you know.
Course laid in.
Takes practice to use. We got the trick of Selena there. Blasting her, put some fire under her. Let's throw some hurricanes at her.
Missile away. Waiting for your orders, Commander.
Okay, looks like we're doing alright. Another thing I will say is that although there's only like, you know,
Missile launch.
5 different music tracks in the soundtrack of this game so far, but I must say I really, really like them.
Initiating attack.
It's kind of this cool, like, kind of
Commander.
spacey feel, but also really, really captures the sense of urgency, you know. Yeah, it's suitably epic, suitably spacey, kind of ethereal, but at the same time, very, you know, when the action kicks on, it's just, you know, it's very tension building.
Ready. Missile reserves are low.
Alright, let's take care of the blue brick here.
Missile away.
I think we're doing pretty good here.
Initiating attack.
We hear you, Command.
Right, that's what we want to do, is just attack, attack, attack. Blue brick's trying to shoot down some of our missiles there. We'll deal with you in a minute. Trick, we got Loom. Blue brick there, okay. That's what's left. And 15 minutes to go. About 15 and a half.
Receive.
Woo, and one of them just went up. So that reactor went critical and exploded. Alright, well, I guess that means we won. Reactor explosions are deadly to a certain range in this game. It's like 1.5 kilometers or something. But yeah, that probably knocked them out. Thank God we didn't get too close. So, yep. We did good. Stout Coral and Loom took some damage, but I think we're okay. Alright, well, that's one battle. Our second battle in our Reigns frigates, where we didn't suck big hairy balls. So, yeah. Went well this time. Anyway, see you later. Out.